Hey, dear friends at Salem Lutheran. Hey, it's baseball season. The Twins are in spring training. I have my friend Eddie Guardado here just in case I get a little tired giving you these long announcements because there's so many things going on here at Salem Lutheran. Eddie might just have to pitch relief for me before I am done. Good to have you. The Twins are opening up and they'll be starting in April. And we too at Salem are hoping that we can be opening up soon. We haven't quite got there yet. We're inching our way along and hopefully we'll be there sooner than later, but we still have a few things to take care of in the meantime and got to be concerned about the variants that are going on too. So your council is working hard to get this prepared, and we are going to be going on live streaming. So services are going to look a little bit different. And if you join us in the morning on Sundays at 9 o'clock, you will be hitting us live. And these can be watched later on as well. So don't think that just because we're going live streaming that you can't watch the recording later on. If you don't like getting up till noon, you can watch us at noon in your pajamas, however you want. We will still be with you on the recording. And we plan on doing that for years to come as far as we know right now. This is going to be a permanent part of Salem's worship experience. And we are doing live streaming also on Maundy Thursday. It's kind of a test case for us, but we're going to try that at 7 p.m. So worship won't be available until later on. Now, Good Friday, we're going to record the way we're presently recording our services, so that will be available sooner than later. And we hope to join you on Easter morning, and we're going to be collecting the Got Change for Feed My Starving Children. So if you can drop that by, Jack's going to be sitting outside the church, and so love to have you drop your change by, because that does change the world. It really has a huge impact. And when you get your emails on Sunday, I do ask that you please scroll down. Sometimes maybe we forget to do that or to click on the link or whatever. Michelle has got all those announcements all set up so you can get all these same announcements I'm giving you now. But we want you to know them, so I don't mind going through them again. And they are always on the website as well. So if you have any questions about anything, just hop on our website. And if you don't have internet connection or you don't have a computer, call us. Everybody who doesn't have a computer should be getting phone calls regularly from members that do, so you know what's going on as well. Our Lenten services will continue. We have our last Wednesday worship coming this week, followed by Palm Sunday special worship service, and that will be online as well. And I hope that you can join us for that. Outdoor Easter egg hunt the day before Easter from 10 to 11 for young families. We are going to be very cautious about how we interact, keeping 6 feet apart, masks, even though we're outside. We want everybody to be safe. And so I know that we're going to take every precaution possible, but outside makes it a little bit safer. Another big event coming up this Saturday is our food distribution at one of our local middle schools, and you can take a look at the exact details. Elaine House is running that particular event. The council has met actually twice in the last week since I spoke to you, and we are working on some very specific things in terms of a mission statement. We're tweaking the mission statement. We are developing a vision for the congregation and some goals that would follow that vision and serve that vision. We listen to your voices through the survey, and I've shared those reports with our council, so they're very well aware of those things as they make plans to go forward. And if you have any questions, of course, give a call. We'll be glad to discuss them with you. And another big thing that's going on, of course, is your mission exploration team. There will be a report in the upcoming newsletter. You will be getting a newsletter for April, May, June, and their report will be in there. And basically, the mission exploration team has been meeting, and we will be developing a mission plan, kind of a mission statement for our congregation, and that will help us to fill out the ministry site profile. That's the statement that goes to the synod. It's a fairly lengthy statement, goes to the synod and helps the synod understand who we are as a congregation and what kind of pastor are we looking for. And those characteristics also will be developed. That will be the last stage between our town hall meeting. So right now we're working on the mission plan. We're going to be doing that this month. Then there will be the next step of creating a document or a job description. You know, this is over and above the normal stuff you expect a pastor to be doing. It may involve some characteristics that are unique to Salem. So that will be worked on, and hopefully we'll get that done quite soon. Shouldn't take us too long to do that based upon the input that we've had so far. Then the mission exploration team fills out the MSP, the ministry site profile. I know a lot of acronyms being floated around here, but they will then present that document to the congregation for changes or approval, one of the two. If you like what they've said and you're in agreement with that, it will go on to the synod and you'll be able to start putting your call committee together. If there's some changes that need to be made, some tweaks that need to be made, we'll make them. That's the whole part of this process. This is not just 6 people doing all the work, but it's 6 people that are gathering information, processing that information, and distilling that to the congregation so that you can consider and having input from the congregation. This represents Salem, not just a certain group of people. So that's very important about this. And that'll happen at a town hall meeting. We're kind of hoping that maybe we can actually gather in person, but I'm not so sure. It's going to be hit or miss. Perhaps we can get a nice day outside into it, but I'm not sure a meeting like that works very well outside. That said, I'm running in circles here a little bit, but we'll figure something out because we want to have everybody together, and it's important that we hear each other's opinions as we go through the process, so that when we're gathered in a town hall meeting, we get to hear all the input. It's very difficult when we just take it from one person at a time because we're really not sure what flows in a congregation's mindset. That's why at an annual meeting, some people have asked, well, can we vote in abstention, or can we vote for particular policies, etc., when we're not in attendance at an annual meeting? And the answer has always been no, because you don't hear the conversation. And we want you to hear the conversation from your friends and neighbors at Salem considering this. So moving on the announcements, we've got a blood drive coming up. The dates and times are published in the document here that goes along with your email blast. Vaccines, if you've been vaccinated and you're willing to share that with us, we'd be glad to be able to compile a list. It does help us for planning for the future of opening up the congregation or opening up an in-person worship. Camp WAPO is taking registrations now, so if you know somebody in the congregation that would like to go to Camp WAPO, and if you need some help financially, don't be afraid to ask. We've got some funds. We can help young people go to Camp WAPO. So please tell your young folks who are members of Salem Lutheran that there's money available for them if that's a concern. Minnesota Food Share Month, we're taking financial donations, monetary donations, and we appreciate your generosity in that. Chancel flowers, if you'd like to order them, there's information on that on this particular email blast as well. So we are... Eddie, I think you might have to take over here. Too long. I'm talking too long. Here we go. We're going to be talking about this text the story that we talked about just a couple weeks ago. It is the story of Jairus, the synod official who comes to Jesus begging him because his daughter is sick. And then they're interrupted with the story of the hemorrhaging woman. You probably remember that just from a couple weeks ago. And why did we stretch those two out, put a week in between them? Well, because this text works really well for the story of Palm Sunday. It's a preparatory text for Easter, and it's an interesting appetizer. That's what I've named the sermon, an appetizer for what's going to happen. So let's take a look at this. Oh, and I did want to show you something. I don't know how well you can see this on the screen. I hope it comes through pretty well. But it's a 4th century bas-relief carving. And I'm holding it up there. Yep, I think you can see Jairus' daughter on the bed and the hemorrhaging woman at the hem of Jesus. So you can pause the video if you want and take a look at that closer. That's the advantage of doing this stuff online. You can pause that and take a look at that. I thought it was a great piece of art that kind of demonstrated those two stories combined together, because they are combined together. So, once again, Jesus got into the boat and crossed the lake and crossed Lake Galilee. Now, good things happen around water. Mark has constantly been around water. They've been swinging back and forth around Galilee, whether they're over in Decapolis. Let me take my twins hat. We're done with twin stuff. They're running around Decapolis. They come back to Galilee. They seem to be around the sea quite often. Jesus calms the sea. And of course, you all know the significance of water in the Bible. And that's where Mark's chapter began, in chapter 1, where the story began with John the Baptist baptizing. So there's a great symbolism here of water. Then he stood on the shore, and a large crowd gathered around him. The person in charge of the Jewish meeting place, sometimes called the synagogue, was also there. His name was Jairus. When he saw Jesus, he went over to him. He knelt at Jesus' feet and started begging him for help. That's kind of an unusual story in Mark. So often Jesus has received condemnation or resistance from religious authorities. This is unlike most that Jesus has encountered. My daughter is about to die. Please come and touch her so she will get well and live. Jesus went with Jairus. Many people followed along and kept crowding around. And of course, this is where the woman that's hemorrhaging comes in and delays Jesus going to the daughter. And then so a little bit later here, it said, while Jesus was still speaking, some men came from Jairus' home and said, "Your daughter has died. Why bother the teacher anymore?" Jesus heard what they said, and he said to Jairus, "Don't worry. Don't worry." We live in a world of worry. Watch the nightly news sometime. They give us plenty to worry. Jesus says, don't worry. Have faith. Jesus did not let anyone go with him except Peter and the two brothers, James and John. They went home with Jairus and saw the people crying and making a lot of noise. Jesus went inside and said to them, "Why are you crying and carrying on like this? The child isn't dead, she is just asleep." The people laughed at him. That's quite a startling reaction. They laughed at him. After Jesus had sent them all out of the house, he took the girl's father and mother and the 3 disciples and went where she was. He took the 12-year-old girl by the hand and said, "Talitha kum," which means, "Little girl, get up." The girl got right up and started walking around. Everyone was greatly surprised. But Jesus ordered them not to tell anyone what had happened. Then he said, "Give her something to eat." Give her something to eat. For isn't that what we need? An appetizer. Because that's what the story's going to be. An appetizer for the feast to come. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I encourage you to read that story once again from Mark 5. It's split up, starts at verse 22, so I will look forward to seeing you on Wednesday at our Lenten service, and then of course on Sunday, Palm Sunday, when we preach about this story.